Hello, everybody. I am so happy to be home. So happy to be here. What a day it was. But now I'm back with my family. My YouTube family. Hello, Emily. Hi there, Sir Philip. How you doing over there in Mali, Victoria, Australia? And then there's the crazy old lady. Hello, hello, you beautiful soul, you. Hello, Nana Laura. Hi. Oh my gosh, Joey Bag of Donuts. Then that thumbnail was just for you. I know, aren't they? I have the best chat in the entire YouTube world. I have the best subscribers, the best members. You guys are so great. Absolutely could not do this without you. That's a fact. I would have no reason to be here if it weren't for any of you guys. Oh, you starting it off right away. You're lucky I love you. Put them up there. Put them up. She's been a naughty girl. I have these little Sheba dishes of food for the cats, right? With these foil lids. And it's not for you. I had them stacked up by where I feed the kitties. And I got up at 4 a.m. to go to the bathroom. And there were 2 containers of these chewed through, and the foil all chewed up into bits all over the floor. She pushed the gate to the side, moved the vacuum even to get to them. I don't even know what to do with her anymore. Hello. I know it's like it's 79 degrees in here right now. She needs to go get herself a drink. Hello there, Jody Gardner and Papa Les. Don't forget, Papa Les. Don't forget. I love you. Always, always, always. All right. Wait. You just wait one darn stinking minute, you cute thing. You are so pretty. She's got the prettiest eyes, prettiest eyelashes. Yes. Just prettiest face. All right, there you go. There, Joey Bag of Donuts. You got your Ava fix early. I know. Ava's the star. I know. Oh, I promise. I have this is a thumb drive. This is where Judge Vann is tonight. I fit him right inside of here. So I'd appreciate you not eating this too. Excuse me. Excuse me, you. You act like I never feed you. Oh my goodness. I got to get this put into the little USB doohickey mabob. There we go. Oh, gosh. Yeah, like I said, it's 79 degrees in here, so I'm a bit warm, a little bit warm. It was a beautiful day, though. I had to use my walker because my mom's family barbecue remembrance dinner was outside at a pavilion, and I didn't know if I'd have to go over grass and sand, so I couldn't use my wheelchair. So instead, I used my walker. So needless to say, I'm a little sore, especially my wrist. I don't know if my Decker veins is acting up or if it's my arthritis, but it's a little sore. Oh my gosh, hello. Oh, I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous. But welcome, Only Zul M. I'm so happy you're here. And I'm so happy you have AC. You are lucky. Mine needs to get put in the window. Just had to use my walker we had a family barbecue in remembrance lunch for my mom. And so my arthritis is acting up or something. I don't know. Or were you asking about the power outage in Houston? Oh, there we go. Wow. I'm glad you're safe. I am glad you're safe. There we go. I know. I figured it out. Took me a minute. I forgot that I had texted you already today, so you already knew where I was. So it takes me a second sometimes. Told you I'm hurting. Yes, absolutely. I can do that too. My tongue's actually longer than my chin. Oh, I would love that. Thank you. Absolutely. That'd be wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really do. No, I wish I was kidding. I wish I was kidding. Mm-hmm. I'll show you someday. Not right now. I'll go brush my teeth after I get going on the docket, and then I'll come back and I'll show you. I have Judge Vann from yesterday. I know we already saw him earlier. It's not even been a week, I don't think. But I needed to do something that wouldn't take a ton of editing, and his docket just is, he's so streamlined with things, so there's very little to cut out, and I know I'm gonna have, pretty safe bet that everything's gonna be okay. Whereas it's not like, like Michigan, where I have to watch every moment because there's a chance, something's going to pop up on the screen, or and I know Judge Vann doesn't put phone numbers and addresses, out there, so I don't have to listen to every moment to clip those out. So yeah, it's just it's a safe bet when I watch him. Same as like Judge Manning, and we might actually go court crawling and see if we can find a Judge Manning docket after this. If we're still, raring to go and everybody wants more, We'll go looking. I don't know if PG is the correct rating. It's a little bit higher. Not quite. Wasn't his like something like 13 inches or something like that? What do you get when you cross an elephant and a rhino? Elephino. We'll just start calling you Rex for short. Because it's our X when you're around. Oh, no. No, I'm not too young at all. But thank you. Thank you very much. Gene Simmons is actually a wildly intelligent man. Absolutely. And he's a great father. Is so business savvy. Like everybody thinks of him just, with the white and black painted face and, doing all the wild and crazy stuff and all the rumors, about his religious beliefs and things like that. But they were just rumors, for one thing. He is a phenomenal human. He really is. And he's incredibly smart, very articulate, very business savvy, and he can look at something and in just a moment know what needs to happen for it to be successful. He's incredible. I have a lot of respect for him. There we go. Oh, does it? Does it really? Hold on. Okay. Sorry. I can't see chat for a moment. Oh. Look at that. The Latin word rex means king or ruler. It comes from Proto-Indo-European regs and has cognates in Sanskrit, Gothic, and Old Irish. The Greek equivalent is archon, which means leader, ruler, chieftain. That is so neat. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. I did not know. See all the things we learn? I'll be honest, Rex is the last thing that I would have considered royalty. Like if you gave me a list of words of and Rex was on there and you said, which one of these means king in Latin, it would not have been what I had chosen. I probably would have chosen almost anything other than that. Sexy Rexy, that's our crazy old lady. Hi, Sea Chinny. Welcome. Crazy old lady has now been redefined to Sexy Rexy. great. This is too great. Yes, she's in, y'all. Oh my goodness. I love you guys so much. I needed you. I really did. I needed my people. It was a very emotional day. I even went up and spoke for my mom. And I got some pictures of her from years ago. And then my brother put a headlight in my daughter's car, the one that, had a deer run out in front of it. So we have one working headlight. The other side, we're probably going to just get like a fog light from Menards and hardwire it in, because the housing, the metal brackets and everything are bent in and warped. So I can't just get a headlight that fits and put it right in there. I can't do that now. The hood's completely like mashed in up on that side. The side panel is all pushed back. The door only opens about 8 inches, and then the fender's all messed up. So yeah, I can't get a headlight for that side and just pop it in. So we're gonna get a fog light and maybe like make some kind of makeshift casing for it, and just hardwire it in so that there's some type of appropriate light. That's what I said. That is what I said to do. Yep. Oh, there's a good way of thinking about it. Hi, Deanna Miller. Welcome, sweetie. I'm so happy you're here tonight. Uh-oh. I should, but he became a flying deer. He's going to be leading Santa's sleigh this year. I don't think he's okay. Hi, Beth. Hi. I hope you're going to have a great night tonight. Enjoy it by the fire. All right, let's get some Judge Vann going, y'all. I love Judge Vann.
You're charged with fleeing and eluding, reckless driving, no valid driver's license, and fraudulent use of without consent.
Yes, sir.
All right, sir. You've indicated you don't want a public defender. Is that the case?
I do.
Okay, I think that'd be an excellent thing is for you to apply for a public defender. So let's get that done. Okay.
Okay.
So they're going to give you a copy of paperwork and get you to fill that out so that you'll have a public defender on board to help you navigate the system now that they've waived you to adult court.
Yes, sir.
All right. Jeff, any criminal history?
Just juvenile, 22, burglary, false ID, petty theft, and another false ID.
All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to place monetary bonds on the fleeing and eluding of $5,000. The reckless driving is $1,000. The no valid driver's license is $1,000. The fraudulent use of ID.
Your Honor.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was informed that the fleeing and eluding that was charged as a third-degree felony has been elevated to a second-degree fleeing and eluding with a 15-year maximum.
Okay, well, we've got another issue that I've got to address. And so I'm going to also allow the Bay County Sheriff's Office to evaluate and, if necessary, Baker Act Mr. Hoke. So he's got 5,000, 1,000, 1,000, 500, but maybe release the Baker. Court date's gonna be June the 17th. Fill out that paperwork, sir, so just get you an attorney.
Yes, sir.
Step to your right to the T.
So, another question?
We can hear you.
Okay. So how do I stay, or like can my mom find me out, or like how does that work?
Well, it depends on your mom, I guess. If your mom wants to bond you out, she can bond you out.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Like, can she though? Like, I have a bond.
Yes,
What did you say that?
7,500.
500? Okay.
Give us 1 second, sir. There you go, sir. You can call 5390. Next, here you go. State your name.
James Nixon.
Court charged 2 counts of sexual assault on a victim under the age of 18. You understand the charges?
Yes, sir.
Copies of paperwork and advise your rights. That true?
What's
Got a copy of your paperwork.
Yes, sir, I do.
You know your rights.
Based on your application, upon that you do qualify for the service of the Public Defender's Office, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the Public Defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, thank you.
Does anybody know what the yellow jumpsuits are in Florida?
You're welcome. Bond's $1 million. Court date's June 13th at 9 o'clock.
Is it 500 apiece on these also?
Well, it's composite because it came in as 2 counts.
10 of them.
But yeah,
All right, step to your right. Give us 1 second again, sir.
$1 million
Answer the
bond.
question.
I've got answers.
I say answer your question. Answer the question.
My question? What'd I do?
Trying to see if you knew.
I don't know. Were they putting it in where,
It's already open. It opened yesterday. So I was wondering.
is it Pier Park?
20, it's 23rd, but I'm like, where? Because I don't ever go over there.
I don't know where it is. It's where Plum Chicken used to be.
Where what?
Plum Chicken used to be.
Okay. State your name.
Not guilty.
Your name is not guilty? Your
No, my
parents'
name is William John Telker. I'm saying I'm not guilty.
Okay, all right.
And I need to speak with a federal marshal about protective custody due to stalking in y'all's town, which y'all may or may not be aware of.
Well, I can get
Thank you.
one better. We may or may not.
All right, I asked for that yesterday, so I imagine you'll work it out when you get time.
Okay. Well, Mr.
All right.
Tucker, you're with less than 20 grams of marijuana, resisting an officer without violence, and disorderly.
Not guilty, thank you.
You're welcome. Deputy, criminal
Okay,
history.
we're done.
No,
We're done.
20 was a criminal mischief over. Georgia was a false ID in 20. Malicious burning 16 locally. Grand theft, resisting, battery, and disorderly 14.
Sounds funny.
all right, 5,000, 2,500, 2,500, May 20th, 1 o'clock. Now we're done.
All right, oh, a federal marshal.
Come on, come on.
Chris Mack.
Then come on.
I'll call Chris Mack.
I cannot. Next.
Yes, ma'am.
For the record, I have not seen any of this yet. I went through and I just edited out the long pauses. So all of this is going to be just as much of a surprise to me as it is to you.
State your name, sir.
What did we do yesterday? So they're gonna take this off. He's ROR on this because he found no problem. So on yesterday's charge, he was ROR. On the out-of-county warrant they served him with, I'm assuming it's the probation violation. Because, yeah, this is out of Tallahassee, so. All right, Mr. Ralph Schneider, you're for the court on an out-of-county warrant out of Leon County for violation of probation. Leon County has requested the honor of your presence. We're gonna hold you without bond. Let's see. Return date's gonna be June. Okay. I'm going to go about 3 weeks. So June 7th.
All right.
But you-
Cut to your right to the T.
I'm not very following it, so what does that mean?
He's giving them to June the 7th to come pick you up.
Oh, they have to come in.
Mm-hmm.
How do I get my vehicle and so forth?
We're gonna do a power of attorney for somebody else to come get it. Step on the T.
All right. Thanks, sir.
When the green light comes on, sign. State your name, ma'am.
Trina Boyers.
For the court on a failure to pay fine for what was originally possession of paraphernalia charge.
Yes, sir. I thought they consolidated that whenever I got my license back. They told me that they were gonna make that civil. So that was my understanding whenever this took place. I had no idea that there was a warrant out.
Okay, well, you've been sentenced to 30 days in jail, but you may purge out upon payment of $550.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. State your name.
How do you vote, right?
I was looking for the.
Start right before the court, turn a driving license suspend or revoke. You understand the charge?
I didn't hear what you
You
said.
understand what you're charged with?
Yes,
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, ma'am?
yes.
Oh.
You want to represent yourself or are you going to hire an attorney?
I don't know yet.
Okay, well. Either one of those things, you can worry about the vote.
They broke up.
Somebody's got to mute their mic or something. We need to know if you want a public defender, because if you do, we need you to fill out the appropriate paperwork so we can determine if you qualify.
All right.
Deb, come on, Ms. Boatright.
She has a hold on, what county?
Citrus.
Citrus County has a hold on.
All right, bond is 500. That allows her to get credit for the time fire case. Court date's going to be May 20th. Good luck, Ms. Boatright.
All right. thank
Step
you.
to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next, red X, state your name.
Angela Calvin.
Ms. Calvin, you fully court of possession of cocaine, possession of paraphernalia,
Yes, sir.
false information to a law enforcement officer, resisting officer without violence, and a violation of probation for possession of controlled substance ×2 and grand theft. You understand those charges, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. On the possession of cocaine, bond is 5,000. Paraphernalia is 1,000. False information to a law enforcement officer is 1,500. I think that's double tapped her. The resisting officer without violence is 1,500. Those will probably be consolidated in one case number or one count. And you've been ordered held without bond by Judge Gay on the VOP. Your court date on the felonies will be June 3rd at 9 o'clock. On the false information to a law enforcement officer and the resisting, your court date is May 20th at 1 o'clock.
Next. State your name.
Sure, Garner.
Trying to fully court on a fugitive justice warrant out of the state of Georgia. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
From Cairo?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. That's how you know they're really from Cairo. Is that they don't say Cairo, it's Cairo. Ma'am, the only thing that you and I have really to talk about is whether or not you're the Farrah Eve Griner that Georgia is looking for. If you agree that you are, it's probably in your best interest to go ahead and sign the waiver letter, putting the clock to come get you. Otherwise, just sitting on dead time, waiting for them to go through the process of getting a governor's warrant.
Yes, sir.
What do you want to do?
Sign the waiver.
All right. Sign the 5 copies of the waiver by video. That puts the state of Georgia, who I believe, best thing they was second in the SEC, wasn't it? Oh, no, the Orange Bowl. I'm sorry. How could I? It's not
Judge Vann and his football.
like it was a close game or anything. 63-3. 100 days? 100 days to college football. And then we're that much closer to deer season.
One more step back to X.
That man is all football and hunting. If you were to dissect Judge Vann, that is what you would find inside of him. Nothing but football and hunting.
All right, June 17th is going to be our return date. That's a Monday. Check.
Yes, sir. All right, step to the T.
I
When
would
the
not
light
dare-
comes on, sign. State your name.
Ms. Lewis, you're for the court for aggravated assault. You understand the charge, ma'am?
Yes.
I understand you can get copies of paperwork and advice to your right. Is that true?
I'm sorry, what was that?
You've been advised of your right today?
Have you been advised of your rights today?
All right, ma'am. Based on your application, you make too much money to qualify for a public defender, but the law recognizes your financial situation may change, in which case you can reapply. You also have the option of hiring your own attorney or represent yourself.
No history.
All right, Ms. Lewis, do you have someplace you can stay other than the address that you share with this gentleman?
Yes, my mother lives about 2 hours away.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna set a monetary bond of 10,000. No contact with the alleged victim. Court date's gonna be June the 27th at 9 o'clock.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign.
Is he still being stalked? Are you still stalking him, Ms. Fanbro?
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, okay. We on the record. You know, not gonna talk.
Why stop now? Well, his lungs are healthy. All right, Miss Allen, how you doing?
All right.
Ma'am, you're looking for violation of probation for grand theft. Petty theft is a felony, petty theft is a felony. And introduction to contraband. You have seen those charges?
Yes, sir.
Judge Stevenson is listening to Wisdom's already held up on. It is June the 26th at 9 o'clock.
Yes, sir, thank you.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, ma'am, state your name.
Ms. Hewitt, you're for a violation of probation for what was originally in possession of methamphetamine charge. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, sir.
All right, ma'am. You've been ordered held without bond. Your court date's gonna be June 26th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Sunday, step to your right. Hewitt, step on the T. When that light goes off and comes back on, you'll sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Wheeler, you're for the court on what was originally a driving license been revoked that was in front of Judge Grammer. In that case, you have failed to pay your fine. Judge Grammer sentenced you to 15 days, make purge out upon payment of $400.
All right, thank you.
Step to your right. Wait. Hewitt, sign again. Senzik paid the fine. All right, now you step on, that light goes off and comes back on, you sign. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Mr. Wilbon, you're for the court on a trespass, a violation of pretrial release for trespass, a failure to appear on a pretrial for trespass. You understand the charge, sir?
Yes, sir.
Seeing you've been given copies of paperwork and advice for your rights, is that true?
Excuse me?
Got a copy of your paperwork.
Yes, sir.
Were you advised of your rights today?
All right, Mr. Wilbon, based on your application, I find that you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you, so you have an attorney now. Bond is $500 on the trespass, the new trespass. Your court date's going to be May 20th at 1 o'clock. On the violation of pre-trial release and the failure to appear, you've got $2,500 bond on each. Your court date is June 4th at 9 o'clock.
Boy.
Step on the T. When the light comes on, sign for your copy. Next. Red X, state your name, sir.
Giles Jones.
Mr. Jones, before the court charge petty theft. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
Yes, sir. I have court, June 17th already, so.
That doesn't sound good. Let me get the piece of paper going that I need. Hey, son. This is what you've done. Oh.
All right. You say they have all the.
See ya.
Along with 24,1590 C.
All right, Mr. Edward, or Mr. Jones. On the petty theft, bonds 2,500, your court date's gonna be May 20th, 10 o'clock. No contact with target. And in case 24,675 and 24,1590, I'm revoking your release. Good luck, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. State your name.
David Augusto.
Mr. Augusto, you're fully court charged with misuse of 911. Do you understand the charge?
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
Do you understand what you're charged with?
Yes, I do.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
Yes.
Based on your application, finds you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
He gave you a public defender. He gave you a public defender. No history.
Mr. Augusto, are you going to show up in court if I let you out?
Yes.
That's all right. May 20th, 1 o'clock, RR.
Step to your right to the T. When the green light comes on, sign. Next. Red X, sir. Face the TV and state your name.
Joshua Rivera.
Mr. Rivera, before the court, charged with battery. Do you understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
Simple battery. Never simple. I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true?
Yes, sir.
Based on your application, finds you do qualify. I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. So you have a turn. Question about that?
No.
Deputy, criminal history?
21, tampering with the witness in domestic. Pennsylvania 15, controlled substance disorderly and ag assault.
Bond set at 5,000, no contact directly, indirectly, or through a third party alleged victim. Court date is May 20th at 1 o'clock.
Step to your right to the T. Next. Red X, sir. State your name.
Johnny Straub.
Mr. Straub, before the court charged leaving the scene of an accident. You understand the charge?
Yes, sir.
I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. Is that true, sir?
No.
No? You haven't been advised of your
No,
rights?
I didn't get any paperwork.
What's in your pocket right there?
This is what they gave, just now gave me.
Yeah, that's what he's
Okay.
asking you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
All right. Based on your application, if I find you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender to represent you. Any question about that?
No, sir.
Deputy, criminal history?
19, opium delivery cell schedule 3, use of two-way, 18 DWLSR, 16 another DWLSR, goes back to 19 with the DWLSR and the battery.
Bond set at 5,000, court dates May 20th at 1 o'clock. Good luck, sir.
Step to your right to the T. State your name, sir.
Vann.
Callahan refused, I'm sorry. He's been here about a couple of days this week.
Yeah, criminal history?
Callahan? Yeah, he's in custody presently on, controlled substance, aggravated stalking, resisting, conditional release violations. Earlier this year, 2 domestic stalkings, 21 controlled substance, marijuana, criminal mischief, illegal use of credit cards, goes back to 20 locally with the domestic ag. You have Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and Georgia.
All right, I'm gonna add a $5,000 bond on this case. This court date's gonna be June 3rd at 9 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes, sir. All right, now say your name, sir.
The Jackson back.
Mr. Batten, before the court on a fugitive from justice warrant out of the state of Georgia. The only issue before you and me is whether or not you're the James Deshaun Batten that Georgia's looking for. If you agree that you are, it is probably in your best interest to go ahead and sign the waiver of extradition, putting Georgia on the clock to come get you. Otherwise, you risk sitting on dead time waiting for the go to the process of getting the.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right, if you want to sign, step to your left, the 5 copies of waiver of extradition, 5 video.
Over here, over here.
There you go.
Sign each copy right there.
Yeah. Neither. It's the one that makes me out. Look, I had a high school football. The Vann, if you ever walk up the line of scrimmage, I don't see you doing this, you are running gassers. I mean, it's fair. It's fair. Fair point. You go the wrong way one time on a play. Eye in the sky never lies. Video. That's the worst thing they could ever done in football.
All right, step back.
All right, so your return date's gonna be June 17th. Hopefully, come get you long before that, okay?
Say what?
Your return date is June the 17th, but he hopes they'll come get you long before that. He has to give them time to come get you.
So what? If they don't come get me by June 17th.
He'll come back the first appearance and they gotta tell us why. All right, step on the, wait, step on the T. When the green light comes on, sign. State your name, sir.
Mr. McNamara, before the court charged possession of a short barreled firearm, possession of trafficking, of butanidol, possession of paraphernalia, trafficking of meth, altering identification or serial number from a firearm, possession of new or legend drug without a script, possession less than 20 grams of marijuana, possession of cocaine, possession of alprazolam, and possession of oxycodone. Do you understand those charges, sir?
Not exactly, no.
Not whether you did it, do you understand?
Yeah, I don't even know what happened with things with her.
Can't take the AR pistol, put a stock on it. That's the problem. AR pistol with a forearm brace, that's okay. But an AR pistol with a multi-position stock.
It's the same thing.
No. You can also take a Kong, one of those black Kong chew toys.
Yeah.
The medium is perfect. You slide it over there and it just snugs right up. Yeah. And the good thing about the Kong is it also kind of grabs onto your whatever fabric you're wearing, and so it kind of keeps it in place. It's really a great situation. It doesn't move at all. Not that I would have ever shot a short barrel rifle like that. No, haven't even seen one. All right. God, they have also, Mr. McNamara, filed a Nebia motion, which means that they are requesting that proof that any monetary funds put up for collateral for a bond must have proof that it comes from a legitimate, legal, lawful source. All right. Yeah, Mr. McNamara.
19 marijuana, cocaine, paraphernalia, 17 locally less than 20 in a DWLSR. And that's it.
All right, on the possession of short barrel firearm, bonds 15,000. The trafficking in butanidol is 100,000. The paraphernalia is 1,000. The trafficking in methamphetamine is 150,000. The altering a weapon is 5,000. The new religion drug is 5,000. The possession less than 20 grams of marijuana is 5,000. The cocaine is 10,000. The alprazolam is 10,000. The oxycodone is 15,000. Random UAs, court date's gonna be June 13th at 9 o'clock, and I'm granting the Nevia.
Step to your right to the T.
Wow, that guy was a walking pharmacy. Like, I was trying to look up whatever utenadol was, and it looks like that's another name for oxycodone. Give him all the UAs in the world. I bet you anything he wasn't even taking half of that. That was all street sale.
State your name.
Christopher Shepherd.
Mr. Shepherd, you're before the court charged with fleeing and eluding and reckless driving. You understand those charges?
Yes, sir.
All right. I understand you've been given copies of paperwork and advised of your rights. True? Based on your application, if I find you do qualify, I'm going to go ahead and appoint the public defender representative so you have an attorney now. Question about that, sir?
No, sir.
No history, sir.
Oh. Okay, thank you.
Well, nobody got hurt. Let's just look at the positive, right? Bond set at 15,000 on fleeing and eluding, 5,000 on the reckless. Court date's gonna be June 7th at 9 o'clock. You took a bad speeding ticket and turned it into a felony. Congratulations.
Step to your right to the T. When the light comes on, sign. Next.
Ooh.
Red X, sir. State your name.
David Refuse.
Mr. Refuse, you're full court charged with violation of probation for possession of 1 times 5. Do you understand that, those charges?
Yes, sir.
You've indicated you're gonna hire your own attorney to represent yourself. Is that how you're gonna proceed?
Steve Meadows is my attorney.
Okay. All right, Judge Gay has already held out bond. Your court date is June 5th at 9 o'clock. Good luck.
Thanks, sir.
Step. Next.
When it matters, call Steve.
Red X, state your name.
Alfonso Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you before the court on an out-of-county warrant. Let's see where this is from. Let's see where they trying to get you back to. Franklin County. Franklin County has requested the honor of your presence. They've asked us to hold you, get you transported back over there so that Judge Schuler? No. Hold without? Yeah, okay. So we're gonna hold you for Franklin County, ask the Bay County Sheriff's Office to get you back over to Apalachicola as soon as possible. Let me see what a good date would be. Has he come back before?
Sir? Sir?
Is this your first time and first appearances on this, for this?
Over here, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is. Showing it's been here before? I was showing it first. June 7th is gonna be the return date, but hopefully he'll be, oh yeah, we skipped Wilson, I'm sorry. What happened to Wilson?
Wilson got picked up this morning before day.
That's why.
All right, you can step on your T.
That's what your problem. I got it. No, you. I knew which one I was on. I heard him say.
Next.
Alfonso. There's your problem.
Next.
Petty.
Step on the red X.
Mr.
Say
Petty,
your
you're
name.
full court. Sir, you're full court on an out-of-county warrant for a BOP charge for DUI in Calhoun County. You understand that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Judge Grover has set your bond at $10,000. Can you make that?
Nope.
All right, man. We're gonna hold you for Calhoun County and get you over there to Blunt Town as quickly as possible, okay?
Yes, sir, today.
All right, June 7th, your return date, but you should be long gone by then. Miss Fambro can walk you back hometown by. She can get on her way to Tallahassee. She can just drop you off.
What I'm going over there for? My kids are back. School's out.
Hey, true.
I'm just saying.
Just take
For
it.
what?
I don't know.
Sign again, Johnson.
Trust me, I don't.
Sign it again. Hold on, she said. Hold on,
wait.
she said.
Stop.
She's behind.
You've mentioned that, Patrick B.
Okay, he can
Who's
sign
it?
now.
Johnson.
Go ahead.
Good help is so hard.
All right, step to your right. Now you step over, Mr. Petty. When the light goes off and comes back on, you'll sign it. And we're good. Y'all have a great weekend.
And that's where it ended. Janet, my email is nightshiftwithapril@gmail.com. That's the YouTube email. Let's go. Get in and drive. Should we go see if we can find a Manning? See if we can find Judge Manning. Get some pre-trial action. I love Judge Manning as well. I haven't seen her for a while. We haven't had her on here for a bit. I gotta be careful that I actually get her courtroom and not somebody streaming her. Here we go. Oh, these are older. This is like 2 weeks old. I wonder if there's ORCA hearings of hers that are newer. Let me look. I can't see the chat at the moment, just so you know. Here we go. Here's one from 1 day ago. But that is definitely not Judge Manning. Ooh, we have Judge Lal. We haven't seen Judge Lal in a while. And she's doing ORCA hearings. So let me... Now, the only thing is, I can't guarantee that they won't ask for phone numbers or addresses on this docket, and that bothers me. But I will do my best. All right. Okay, let me get...
She's in the courtroom. Okay, got it. Thank you so much. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Lal, and we are going to address our expedited accusation calendar with the State Court of Fulton County. This is a list of misdemeanor criminal cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being arrested, the individual defendants' cases were formally accused by the prosecutor, who is all right. Taylor Brook or Taylor Brooks is accused of 3 separate counts of simple assault in case 24 CR 003061F. Miss, who is going to be her attorney? Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor.
How do you pronounce the last name?
I think it's Bro.
Bro? Okay. Ms. Bro, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Keith Cook. Mr. Howard, good afternoon.
First arrest.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, this incident occurred on February 2nd, 2024. Officers responded to an apartment at 1802 Greenhouse Drive in reference to maintenance changing the locks. Essentially, the defendant is a leaseholder on an apartment. She has sublet her apartment to family members, and there was a dispute over getting those family members out. The police told her that it was essentially a civil matter and she had to go through eviction proceedings, and they left. And then shortly after, the subletters, who are the victims in this case, their names are Tiana Pope, Corey Thomas, and there's also a juvenile. They came up to the police before they left the parking lot and said the defendant pulled a gun on them. So the police thought the defendant left the scene, but I guess she went around the parking lot and to the back side of the apartment and went up the back way and went back to the apartment after the police and everyone left. And according to the victims, she pulled a gun on them. She said, y'all think I'm playing, y'all need to get out of here. And according to one victim, she threatened to shoot them if they didn't leave. However, the other victim says that didn't happen. And the child also said that she pointed the gun at her. Our office has not been able to get in touch with any of the victims, Your Honor. Our office is obviously in touch with the Superior Court or the DA's office about transferring this case. At this point, the state is recommending a $5,000 surety bond on each count, a no further contact with the victims, a stay away from the incident location, anger awareness, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we can sound for Corey Thomas and Tiana Pope.
That was Tiana Pope, right?
Yes, Judge.
And the minor is CN, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Okay.
And Corey Thomas is the other one.
All right. I don't see anyone responding to those names. Corey Thomas, Tiana Pope. I have 2 iPhones on the screen, but no one's responding. Okay. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 33 years old. She's lived in the Atlanta area for 10 years. She drives for Uber. She also works in the security business. She completely denies the allegations. Her position is that she did not flash a gun at anybody. She was frustrated because she wished for these folks to leave her apartment, and they weren't. So she was frustrated with them, but there was no showing of a gun. Given that, we would be asking, we have no problem with any kind of no contact with the alleged victims, but we would be asking, given a record, we would be asking for a signature bond through the jail.
Okay. This is her first arrest, and typically she would be qualified for a signature bond. But given her blatant disregard of advice that she should exercise the rights under civil action, and given the egregious nature of the warrants, bond is set at $1,200 on each count. That's a total of $3,600 surety bond. No further contact with Corey Thomas, Tiana Pope, and the minor identified as CN. She has to stay 200 yards away from 1802 Greenhouse Drive in Roswell, Georgia. She has to stay away from the entire complex. Of course, the landlord, if they wish to have Mr. Thomas, Ms. Pope, and CN vacate the premises, they can also file a dispossessory action. But if Ms. Bro decides to file a dispossessory action, she may do so, but she needs to advise the civil court that she has a no contact provision with the 3 occupants of those premises. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and definitely no firearms. Ms. Bro is required to surrender any and all firearms to the local police for destruction. She's not allowed to have a firearm on her person, in any vehicle she occupies, or in any home that she resides. Thank you. Next court date for Ms. Bro is May 30th at 9 a.m. Ms. Bro, if you do make bond, please be sure to comply with these conditions. You might want to speak to an attorney about dispossessory or eviction law. Also, you are to make sure you have no contact with Mr. Thomas, Ms. Pope, and their child, and you're to stay away from that entire apartment complex. I think that's it then. Thank you.
Your Honor, on her booking sheet, it's a criminal trespass and a simple assault would be two. Oh, okay. Never mind.
All right, thank you.
We can go to position number 7, Ms. Myers.
This is State versus Marvis Myers, accused of failure to obey a police officer and hit and run, failure of the driver to stop or return to the scene of the accident. The allegations are that this is a hit and run of a human being and not another vehicle. This is case 24 CR 003-055D. Ms. Myers, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Third, 05 fleeing an officer conviction. That was the last arrest.
All right, thank you. And that was a conviction?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor, good afternoon. In this case, the defendant was at the intersection of Joseph E. Boone and Temple Street. I believe that's the KIPP school. The crossing guard at that school was in the intersection, allowing the students to pass through the intersection. They instructed for the driver to stop. The driver refused to stop. The crossing guard then asked her for a license. She refused, and then she accelerated her vehicle, hitting the crossing guard, causing him to fall to the ground, and she left the scene. The victim, he did sustain injuries to his hip, thigh, and knee. The state will be asking for a $5,000 surety on each count. No driving while out on bond, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond also.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor. My client denies the allegations. We would be seeking an SOB through pretrial at whatever level the court deems appropriate. The other conditions we have no objection to.
All right. On the failure to obey a police officer is $1,500. On the driving a hit and run is $3,500. That's a $5,000 surety bond. To stay away from the KIPP's Academy School at that location. If she has any children or any business at that school, somebody else needs to be there. She cannot be within 200 yards of that location. She's also to have no contact with Officer
I think it's Tracy Bowers.
Presley Bowers, okay? No contact with Officer Presley Bowers, no illegal drugs, no weapons, and no alcohol. Her next court date is going to be May 30th at 9 a.m. Thank you.
What was the bond amount on the driving?
I'm sorry?
What was the bond?
It's Bowers with Bowers. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Yes, okay. I'm sorry, Deputy, which case were you calling?
I said, what was the bond amount on the hit and run?
1,500 on count 1, failure to obey, and 3,500 on the hit and run, 5,000 surety.
Okay. Next, we can go to position number 6, Mr. Jordan.
KIPP's Academy School, I think it's at Temple and Joseph E. Boone. I'm sorry, Deputy, I was trying to respond to another inquiry. What was the case number? Is this Mr. Clark?
No, position number 6, Mr. Jordan.
Yeah, got it. This is Theophilus Jordan, accused of battery, family violence, 1 count of battery, and 1 count of disorderly conduct with regards to a March 24th, 2024 incident involving one Ivy Nellam, case number 24 CR 003-056J. Mr. Jordan, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, the 08 bench warrant, 05 theft. That's it.
Thank you.
Judge, this is actually 2 incidents. The first incident occurred on March 24th, 2023. The victim in that incident is Ivy Nellam. Officers responded to a domestic dispute call at 2640 MLK Drive, apartment 4107. Upon arrival, they spoke with the victim, Ivy Nellum, who stated that her son, the defendant, slapped her on the left cheek. She said there was a dispute over selling him some bedroom furniture. He was demanding his money back. He was irate and he slapped her. She did have a scratch on her face. The second incident happened exactly 1 year later, March 24th, 2024. Officers were called to a 17, I'm so sorry, let me see. It is 7138 Flagstone Place in Union City. Upon arrival, they made contact with a Mr. Antonio Gray, who stated that he came home, he pulled into the driveway, the defendant exited the residence and was behaving very aggressively, yelling, cursing, slapping the passenger window of the vehicle, saying, "I'm gonna effing kill you, B. I'll beat your HS up." And they got into a fight. The defendant struck him several times with a fist and upper torso, causing lacerations to his lips and mouth. It's my understanding that the defendant does not live at that address. He was just visiting there. Our office has been in touch with both victims. Miss Nellum is his mother. She said that this is the first time anything like this has ever happened, and she does not want to press charges, and she's not afraid of him and wants contact. The second victim, Mr. Gray, says that he and the defendant were previously in a relationship. They don't live together. They do have some DV history. This is the first time the police have ever been called. He confirmed the events in the warrant. He stated that he wants no contact and anger management and a stay away. So with that, the state is recommending a signature bond through pretrial, a no further violent contact with Ivy Nelson, his mother, a no further contact with Antonio Gray, a stay away from 7138 Flagstone Place in Union City, anger awareness, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Ivy Nellum and Antonio Gray.
Ivy Nellum and Antonio Gray. All right. Just one question. Why aren't these two separate cases? If they're two separate victims, two separate incident dates.
I agree, Judge. I think there may have been an issue with, because the dates of the warrants are exactly 1 year apart. When I originally accused this, I thought it was a typo. And then about an hour ago, I realized that they are actually two separate incident dates.
Okay. I mean, I thought it was all from 2024 as well. So
I did. So
okay. So I think that it would be more prudent for the state to go ahead and put this as two separate cases, because you really can't proceed on these multiple events in one separate case.
Right.
All right. In the meantime, we can still proceed with the issue of bond. Mr. Cook?
Yes, Your Honor, given his, that there's only one incident in his past from 2008. I think that might have been well, I'm not sure about the details on that. We would be asking for signature bond through the jail. We have no problem with no violent contact with Ms. Nellum and no contact at all with Mr. Gray. We would object to the anger awareness course. His position is that the incident with Ms. Nellum did not occur, and that in the second incident, alleged incident, that Mr. Gray was the aggressor.
On the battery family violence, that's going to be a $3,500 bond. On the battery, that's going to be $1,000, and the disorderly conduct is $1,000. However, you all decide to split the case, I guess the battery family violence would have to be in one case, and the battery and disorderly conduct would have to be in a subsequent case. But irrespective of that, his bond is going to be a signature bond through pretrial services level 2. He would need to enroll in 12 anger management classes within 30 days of being released. He'll need to update the court in writing of his current mailing address, which cannot be 2460 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive and cannot be 7138 Flagstone Place. He's to stay away from both locations. He cannot return to his mother's place, and he cannot return to Anthony Gray's place. He's to have no contact with Ivy Nellam, and he's to have no contact with Antonio Gray. That means staying 200 yards away from both of them, not communicating with them in any way, form, or manner, and not to consume any alcohol, no illegal drugs, and not possess any weapons and any firearms. If he fails to report to pretrial twice a month, if he fails to enroll in the anger management classes within 30 days from today, his signature bond of $5,500 will be revoked and converted to a surety bond. Thank you.
My question is, what is with that date? There's got to be something for him to essentially lose it on the same exact date, 1 year apart from each other. Is there a traumatic event that he's dealing with? Is it some emotional struggle? Like, what is triggering him on that date to act out? I just don't understand.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Next, we can go to position number 2, Mr. Clark.
All right. Mr. Dunjay Clark, case 24 CR 3052B, is accused of simple assault and willful obstruction of an officer from May 15th, 2024, involving an alleged incident on a MARTA bus. Mr. Clark, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Cook. Any priors?
Kenesha King.
On probation out of Henry County for obstruction, fleeing an officer. Got a 2023 FTA. Got an open case out of Chambly for felony obstruction. Open case in Fulton for fleeing. Failure to keep in proper lane. Operating without lights, reckless driving. Failure to have license on person. That's 23 SC 189 888.
This incident took place on May 15th, 2024. MARTA police were dispatched to MARTA bus 1434 on Route 55 in reference to an unruly passenger threatening to harm the bus driver. Upon arrival, the officer observed the bus driver honking his horn with urgency, trying to get her attention. The officer made contact with the bus driver, whose name is Michael White, who advised that the defendant was threatening to harm him. The defendant was physically very agitated and kept putting his hands in his pockets. The officer kept asking him to stop putting his hands in his pockets. She eventually had to handcuff him because he wasn't following instructions.
I'm sorry, Ms. Daciano? I'm sorry, your screen froze up.
Oh, I'm sorry. What's the last thing you heard?
That he would threaten to strike the, and then you cut off.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, so the officer got to the bus. She met with the bus driver, whose name is Michael White. He said the defendant was.
Oh.
So she went to handcuff him.
I'm sorry, Ms. Daciano, your
sorry.
Wi-Fi froze again. He threatened to strike Michael White, and then you cut off again. Let's
I'm
try
sorry.
that again. Okay.
Let me log out and log back in.
Okay, or if you want to switch off your video, we can use your audio if it's a Wi-Fi issue.
Let's try that. Is this any better?
Proceed with, he threatened to strike Michael White.
He threatened to strike Michael White. The police showed up. The defendant was very agitated. He had his hands in his pockets. He would not remove his hands from his pockets. So the officer eventually had to handcuff him. When she went to handcuff him, he snatched his hands away from the officer. The bus driver advised that the defendant got on the bus already agitated. He asked the defendant to tap his MARTA card. The defendant began yelling, saying he was going to slap his A, that he did not know who he was effing with. The defendant went back to the back of the bus. He was still running his mouth, and then came back up to the front of the bus, even more aggressive. And that's when the police were called. Our office has not been in touch with the victim at this time. And our office is requesting on the $1,000 surety bond on the simple assault and a $500 surety bond on the willful obstruction. No further contact with the victim, a stay away from MARTA, anger awareness, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond. And if we could sound for Mr. Michael White.
Mr. Michael White with MARTA. All right, Mr. Cook?
Yeah, my client denies the allegations. His position is he did not threaten Mr. White. But we would have until further proceedings, no problem with the stay away from MARTA and no further contact with this particular bus driver. We would object to anger awareness and we would be seeking a signature bond at whatever level the court deems appropriate.
Okay. On the simple assault is going to be $1,000 surety bond. On the willful obstruction is going to be $1,000 signature bond through the jail. He's got a $2,000 split bond. His next court date is May 30th. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Oh, and to stay away from all MARTA property. No buses and trains.
Probably a good idea.
Yeah, and no contact with Michael White. Sorry.
Next, we can go to position number 9, Mr. Riddick.
Number 9. Okay.
That's 90% of everybody, Patrick B. And it's a great.
And yes, this is Joshua Riddick, accused of simple battery, family violence, 24 CR 3058J. Mr. Riddick, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Atay. And the alleged incident dates from May 14th of this year. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second arrest, 2024 suspended license.
All right,
Yes,
thank you.
Your Honor. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched to 4601 Lakemont Drive, where they met with the victim, Miss Ariana Wesley. She advised that her and the defendant are in a relationship and they reside together at that location. They were having a disagreement and the defendant became irate and he pushed her. The state's gonna be asked for a signature bond through pretrial services. No further violent contact with Miss Wesley. A 2-day anger awareness, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond. We did
Ms.
have
Atay?
with the victim, and so if we could sound from Miss Ariana Wesley.
All right, Miss Ariana Wesley? All right, Ms. Atay?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 27 years old. He has lived in Georgia for 17 years. He states that he's the one who called the police, but he wasn't calling for the police. He was calling for an ambulance because his hand was injured. Of course, he does deny the allegations as stated in the warrant. I don't have an objection to a signature bond. I would ask for the signature bond to be through the jail because his hand is injured. It's still bleeding, and so I would ask for the signature bond through the jail. No violent contact with the complaining witness is fine, and I would object to the 2-day anger awareness. This is, he has just one other arrest, and it was a traffic offense. So I don't think that a 2-day anger awareness is necessary at this point.
All right. So, Mr. Walker, this occurred at the Lakemont location as well?
That's my understanding, Your Honor.
Okay. On Joshua Riddick, it's going to be a $1,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. He's to have no further contact with Ariana Wesley and to stay away from 4001 Lakemont Drive in College Park. He's allowed a one-time visit to go to the location to retrieve his personal property. That visit must be with a police officer. After that, he has to update the court with his new mailing address within 30 days from today. And we will send him his summons to come back to court at that time. Please be sure to let us know your new address. Otherwise, if you fail to appear, your signature bond will be revoked. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons and firearms. Thank you.
Next, we can go to position number 10, Mr. Tony Smith.
This is State versus Tony Smith, accused of battery, family violence from May 15th, 2024, case 24 CR 3059F. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Atay. Mr. Howard?
Hold on, let me put something in the chat.
What y'all think he's putting in
And
the
you see
chat?
the 2010, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
He's got secrets to tell.
All right, got it. Thank you. Anything else on how many, just that one arrest cycle? Or two?
The 16 total. He had a 2016 simple battery disorderly conduct conviction. Last arrest was 2020 for trafficking drugs and crossing guard lines with drugs. That's it.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Walker?
Yes, sir. In this case, law enforcement was dispatched at 1364 Wills Mill, where they met with the victim, Ms. Naisha Robertson. She advised that her and the defendant reside together at the location. They are in a relationship. They were having a verbal disagreement when the defendant became violent. He did push her to the ground and proceeded to stomp on her. The officer did observe visible scratches on the victim's body. The state is asking for a $4,000 surety bond, a no contact with Ms. Robertson, a stay away from that incident location, no weapon, drugs, or alcohol while on bond, and we will stop the victim, Ms. Robertson.
Ms. Robertson?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, did you want to add to the proceedings?
No, ma'am.
Okay, please mute your screen. Thank you. Ms. Atay?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 37 years old. He is the father of two minor children, 5 months and 13 years old. He has lived in Georgia all his life. He is gainfully employed as a cook and has been doing that for the last 2 years. He's a high school graduate. Well, I spoke with the complaining witness and she does want contact with him. I think that last arrest was 2016, so 8 years ago. He did have a 2020 arrest, but that case was dismissed, Your Honor. So I would ask for a signature bond through pretrial services, and no violent contact with the complaining witness, nothing further.
All right. Mr. Tony Smith, your bond is going to be set at 3,500. It's going to be a surety bond. No further contact with Naisha Robertson. You are to stay away from 1364 Wills Mill Road in Atlanta, Georgia. You're allowed a one-time visit in order to retrieve your personal belongings, and that visit must be with a police officer. After that, you have 30 days to update the court with your new mailing address, so we may send you notice of your next court date. Presently, your next court date is going to be May 30th at 9 a.m. And as I said, no further contact with Ms. Robertson and to stay away from the Wills Mill Road. If you shared any children with Ms. Robertson, you can have joint visitation and custody once you file a legitimation action in order to establish joint visitation, custody, as well as child support. Thank you.
Next is section 3, Mr. Davis.
This is State versus Devontae Davis, accused of simple battery from an incident date of April 4th, 2024 in case 24 CR 3053A. Mr. Davis, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Cook. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
30. 2022 financial transaction card fraud, theft of lost mislaid property.
Any
Yeah.
open cases?
Not that I know.
All right, thank you. That's
I
good.
ain't really see any violence anyway. If it is, it's older than 2015.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, I
Yes.
got a text from AT&T saying there's an outage in my area. If it's okay with the court, if I could just keep my camera off, because I don't.
That'll be fine. Go
Okay,
ahead.
can you hear me okay?
Loud and clear.
Okay. This incident occurred April 4th, 2023. Officers were dispatched to 2210 Sullivan Road in reference to a dispute. Notably, Judge, they came twice to this location. The first time they came, there was a dispute between the same individuals, the defendant and the victim, Mr. Willie Cherry. There was a dispute over a cell phone, and the police told the defendant to give the cell phone back to the victim, and then they left. They were called again because they started physically fighting. Both subjects had blood on them. The defendant is the only one that had injuries, however, but the eyewitness to the incident stated that he was the primary aggressor, so he was arrested. And the witness said that he punched Mr. Willie Cherry first. Our office has been in touch with Mr. Cherry. He says he knows the defendant from the streets. He was homeless. He tried to help the defendant. He asked him to pick up his phone from a repair shop, and then the defendant refused to give it back, and he wants no contact and a stay away. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial and no further contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while out on bond.
Mr. Cook?
Your Honor, we have no objection to the recommendation.
All right. Bond is going to be set at 1,500. It's a signature bond it'll have to be through pretrial services given his arrest record. He will need to report to pretrial once a month. This is level 1. He's to have no contact with Mr. Willie Cherry or Cherry Willie. I'm not sure how the bond read. It our whole name of Cherry Willie Bill. Do we know the correct name of the victim?
I think it's Willie Bill Cherry. I think there's a comma missing there. I think it's Mr. Cherry.
All right, we will go with Willie Bill Cherry. And he cannot return to the 2210 Sullivan Road location. He's to stay 200 yards away from that location and have no contact and no communication with Mr. Cherry. No alcohol, no drugs, and no weapons. And if he doesn't show up for court when required, we will issue a bench warrant for his arrest. Thank you.
Your Honor, it's my understanding that the 2210 Sullivan Road address is my client's aunt's home, and he lives with her, and she suffers with dementia, and he's taking care of her, and that Mr. Cherry does not live there. That's not his residence. So a stay away would be very problematic given the aunt's needs and the fact that Mr. Cherry actually does not live there. If we indeed are talking about the 2210 Sullivan Road address.
I thought it was the other way around, but.
Judge, I have no information to really add. The only information I have is that the victim has asked for a stay away from that incident location.
Just 1 second.
What's the bottom line here?
1,500 signature bond through pretrial. I guess it's got to be an easier way to get to the warrant. Okay.
I love this judge. She is all business. And her humor is so, it's there. It's there, but it comes as a slap in the face when it hits. Thank you so much, Joey Bag of Donuts. And be safe on your way to Florida.
All right. So I'm going to allow for a one-time visit. Mr. Davis can return to the location, 2210 Sullivan Road, with a police officer. If the officer verifies that Mr. Cherry does not live there, and if the occupant of the property, I guess his aunt, agrees to take him back, then he can return to the property. So he has to stay away from Sullivan Road, subject him going back to the officer and verify that the victim does not live there. But otherwise, he needs to stay 200 yards away from Mr. Cherry. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, we go to position number 8, Mr. Charles Rainey.
Mr. Charles Rainey is accused of public drunkenness and a criminal trespass at the Marta Station. His case number is 24 CR 3057Y. He's been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Mr. Cook. Yes, Mr. Howard, and how many cycles?
12, 2021 DUI conviction, 2012 battery. He's wanted out of Union City for simple assault.
Okay, thank you.
I believe this is Miss Atay's.
Oh, is it? Okay, sorry about that. Ms. Atay is the appointed counsel for Mr. Davis. Ms. Atay, sorry, Mr. Walker?
Yes, Your Honor, the state, well, defendant was arrested at the College Park Marta Station for being inebriated in public. The state is asking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from MARTA, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol, and to be released to the hold that he has.
I have no objection, Your Honor, to the signature bond through the jail and the stay away from Florida. From what I saw, I see what he's wanted for out of Union City is a 1996, something from 1996, not a battery.
Okay. On the public drunk, that's going to be $1,000. On the criminal trespass is going to be $1,000. That's a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial services. And once he finishes his orientation with pretrial, or when they schedule it, then if College Park does not come by and pick him up, then he can go to College Park on his own and fix that problem. No alcohol, no illegal drugs, no weapons, and no firearms. And he's to stay away from MARTA trains. He can use the bus, but he's not allowed to use the trains. Thank you.
Is that level 1, Your Honor?
Level 1.
Thank you.
Next, we go to position number 11, Mr. Webster.
Yeah, stay away from all MARTA trains and train stations. I mean, he can go to the bus station, I guess, but not the train station. Where are we right now?
Position number 11. Mr.
Yes, ma'am. Corey Webster.
Good evening, Your Honor.
Good evening. Mr. Webster is accused of loitering and prowling in case 24 CR 3060G from May 15th, 2024. Mr. Webster, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Atay. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
17, 2024 probation, 2023 probation. 2022 hit and run, driving without a valid license conviction, 2021 FTA. History out of Alabama, 2016 robbery, 2015 burglary, 2014 stolen property, 2013 burglary and larceny.
2 counts of burglary, no, 2 burglary convictions.
2 different arrests for burglary. Hold
Do you have
on, you're throwing me off. Yeah. One from 2015, one from 13.
Okay, thank you. All
Yes,
right.
Your Honor, this case occurred at the Hot Works Gym located at 3005 Alabama Road. The defendant followed one of the patrons in. The door is actually a locked door that can only be accessed through a code. After he followed her in, he went to the saunas. He's captured on camera peeking into the different saunas at that location. And then he followed the victim, or the witness in this case, Ms. Roberta Kennedy, out of the gym. The state is asking for a $3,500 surety bond, no contact with Ms. Roberta Kennedy, and stay away from that incident location, 3005 Alabama Road, no weapons, drugs, or alcohol while on bond.
Ms. Atay?
Yes, Your Honor. I mean, I heard pretrial say a lot of history. In the pretrial report that I got, it shows that he has 1 misdemeanor conviction, and he is recommended for a signature bond at level 2. So, Your Honor, my client is 32 years old. He has been a resident of Johns Creek for the last 6 years. He lives a few miles away from this gym. He is the father of 1 minor child. As I said, I see that he has 1 prior misdemeanor conviction. He is charged here with loitering and prowling. He was at the gym during the day, during business hours, at 8:50 a.m. when the warrant's saying he's looking into saunas, this isn't a place where people go to, get undressed and sit in a sauna. You work out inside of the sauna. So he's not peeking into saunas at people that are undressed or the way the warrant's making it sound. Those are the workout rooms. So as he told the officer, he was there checking out the facility. This place advertises heavily in the area for people to come in, check us out, see about a free workout. And apparently the officers decided to make this arrest because the person listed in the warrant was uncomfortable with my client's presence at that gym. I would ask for a signature bond through the jail in this case. And of course, he's fine staying away from that incident location and the complaining witness.
All right. Mr. Walker, Mr. Howard has listed this gentleman's, Mr. Webster's GCIC. Do you have a different GCIC?
I do not, Your Honor.
So you also have the prior burglary arrests and so forth?
I do, and that's why I'm asking for a $3,500 surety bond.
All right.
Well, Your Honor, I don't know what I don't have access to GCIC, and when I see the pretrial report that I get from its misdemeanor and pretrial services, it shows that he has one misdemeanor conviction.
Okay.
So either all these cases were dismissed or they're all still open. But
bond is set at $2,500. It is a surety bond. Next court date is May 30th. To stay 200 yards away from 3005 Old Alabama Road, Unit 40, Johns Creek, and have no further contact with Roberta, Kennedy, and any of the staff at Hot Works of this location.
Y'all, can I please say something? I just want to tell that I like literally, like we never brought up like my dog. Like, like brought up that I've been working for all these years. So I really got to go back to work. I don't have family in Georgia. Like it's gonna be impossible almost for me to make a bond through a bonding company. I like having to do that is gonna hurt me. So I don't have any problem paying money for free trial, but because I need a signature bond. If it's signature bond for anybody, it'll be for me. Because of this case, you know what I'm saying? So I need.
I mean, I obviously would argue that you need a signature bond. You started with the loiter prowl, but she's.
I'm begging you, Ms. Law. I will not let you down, please.
Mr. Webster, unfortunately, you have a significant criminal history record.
No,
You've got arrests out of Alabama.
No, listen, Ms. Law.
And you've got 2 prior burglary arrests.
Ms. Law.
And listen to me, sir. I'm not treating you any differently than any other individual in similar situations. This is not a situation. So if the criminal history record is incorrect, then we will definitely take that up on May 30th. But right now, I've already confirmed with pretrial services and the solicitor prosecutor that the criminal history record I have of you is correct.
But Madam Ms. Law, I don't want to disagree with you, and I got respect for your court, Your Honor. I walked up and I told you good evening, Your Honor, because I know I got respect for your court. I just want you to understand, like, hear me out. Like, my license was took away from me in 2022, May 2022, and I haven't been able to spend time with my child because I went by the law of Georgia of not driving without a valid license. So all I'm saying is this, man, I've been having it very rough. I've been working for the past 4 years at the same job. I'm an assistant manager at Burger King. So
Mr. Webster, I still don't see the grounds to grant you a signature bond.
I was gonna tell you, Ms. Law, my history, I don't have a history. I'm from Alabama and I stay in Georgia. I don't have a history. I don't, all the stuff that they charged me with, I never got convicted of a violent crime. Every last one of those burglaries was dropped. I don't have.
All right, May 30th, once I get these verified, then we'll definitely consider your bond. But right now, based on the factors, it is a surety bond. Thank you.
Come on, here we go.
Next,
she is not the judge to argue with. Whatever the circumstances, it'll be played out in court. This is not the time, and this certainly is not the judge. And I hear Planet Fitness is taking new enrollments.
Case, please.
Here we go. Get up there.
We could do.
Come on. Why don't you bring them back? I'll go there.
Position number 4 is a waiver.
DeAndre Grinnell. All right. Mr. Webster, please have a seat at the gallery and Ms. Atay will speak with you. Position number 1, I thought I gave it to you already. Sorry. Yeah, it's 3,600 surety. All right. DeAndre Grinnell. Ms. Atay, do you have a Mr. Grinnell in the courtroom?
No,
he
Your Honor,
waived
he's
his
a
appearance.
waiver.
Oh, he's a waiver, excuse me. All right. And so Mr. Grinnell is accused of theft by shoplifting on May 10th, case number 24 CR 003-062G. And Mr. Grinnell is represented by counsel, Ms. Atay. And any priors, Mr. Howard?
Fourth arrest. Booking says resident of South Carolina. Open case out of DeKalb for terrorist threats. On probation in Fulton for battery and arrest out of South Carolina. Assault on a female, simple assault, injury to personal property, and interference with emergency communication.
Your Honor,
Miss-
this incident occurred on May 10th, 2024. Officers responded to a reported theft at a Chevron gas station located at 490 Whitehall Street Southwest. Upon arrival, they made contact with the manager, whose name is Mr. Lawrence, who informed him that an unknown male entered inside around 3 a.m., picked up a box of candy bars worth about $112, and then left the gas station. The officer observed the security video footage and made a report. Then on May 14th, the defendant came back into the gas station and he was apprehended at that time. Given his open cases, judges, Your Honor, the state would be recommending a $1,000 surety bond, a stay away from the Chevron, and no weapons, drugs, or alcohol allowed on bond.
Ms. Atay?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 28 years old. He is struggling with homelessness. He's not a resident of South Carolina. He has been in Georgia for years at this point. I heard from pretrial that he's had 4 previous arrests. I would ask, he is recommended for a signature bond through pretrial services, so I would ask for a signature bond. In this case, it's a theft by shoplifting. I understand that it was a box of Reese's chocolates. So I would ask for a signature bond through the jail because reporting to pretrial services.
All right. The allegation isn't like he stole a bunch of bars. It was, I guess it must be a couple of boxes for that value of $112. The bond is set at $500. It's a surety bond to stay away from the Shell gas station at 490 Whitehall Street. Next court date is May 30th. Thank you.
Judge, have you seen the price of candy bars lately? I mean, $112 of Reese's. Depends on what the markup is. But it was Reese's. I say let him go. Who could resist?
All right, and what about position 5, Willie Jean-Louis?
He is currently in felony court.
Okay. Who is the prosecutor for that matter?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Desiano, I've read the warrant in this case. It looks like he was attempting to allegedly flee in light of being where the police were attempting to seek out a wanted person. Any objection to a $1,000 signature bond through the jail?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Atay, if you're representing Mr. Willie Jean-Louis, you can waive his appearance if you, and I can enter a bond order for a $1,000 signature bond through the jail.
No objection to that, and I'll send a waiver.
All right, thank you. All right, that concludes our calendar. Just to go down the cases. Position, did I miss one? All right. Position 1, Bro, is a $3,600 surety, reset date May 30th. Position 2 is a $2,000 split bond, reset date May 30th. Position 3 is a 1,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. Position 4 is Grinnell is a $500 surety, reset May 30th. Position 5 is a $1,000 signature bond through the jail, waived first appearance. Position 6, Jordan is a 5,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2 for the notice.
The rest is going to be her just going through the calendar, and what we already saw, going through who got what charges for everything. But I agree that this country does need to address homelessness. But I think before homelessness is fixed, the mental health crisis needs to be addressed. And by addressing the mental health crisis, you are addressing the homelessness. Everything's connected. But the one thing that I can't agree with you that the stores can afford the loss. Because, like I said in the chat, not all stores are owned by big corporations. They're not. Just because it says Shell gas station on the outside, it could be independently owned, but operated by, a family. No, absolutely not. It is not a right to steal under any circumstances. None. There's no excuse for it, because there's always food banks that are available in every community. I have never seen a community that did not have one, or if they didn't have one directly in that town, something very close, or some type of outreach program, a church. There are other options. That's just my point. There's always other options. Stealing isn't the option. It's not the solution. And when they steal from a business, no, the businesses can't afford the losses, because then what happens is the businesses aren't going to eat that cost. They're going to raise the prices. And that price difference is going to be passed on to you and me. The businesses aren't going to be taking the loss. They take a big loss because of theft, but then the prices go up. And then they do things like, get glass cabinets with locks on them, and you gotta, go tap someone on the shoulder to unlock the toothpaste. I don't want to deal with that. I want people to just stop stealing. I admit homelessness is absolutely a crisis. And I mean, you're talking to someone who had to live in their car for a few months. But I didn't steal when I did that. I went to Walmart and I bought bread on clearance for 50 cents. And then I went over to the deli section, and whatever lunch meat they had clearanced off for, half off, I got that. And sometimes they had cheese. And then I would make myself a sandwich. I ate on about $3 a day when I was living in my car. Ramen noodles. I had a little hot plate that I would plug into the pavilion at the park. And I would heat myself up some water from the drinking fountain at the park. I took showers by filling up a gallon jug and going into, there was one park that had concrete floors, and it had flushable toilets, but it was a very outhouse type of restroom. And so I would go into the handicap stall with the concrete floor, and it had like a gap between the wall and the floor for water runoff, that's where I took my shower. With a gallon jug of water and a wash rag of soap. You know, there are ways to get by that don't take from someone else's pocket. I never stole a thing when I was homeless. So I can't say, you know, I can't agree with them. I can't. Yeah, it's hard and it sucks and it's a sting to your pride. But you know what? If you can do it and not be dishonest and not steal and then come out ahead, every stung you took to your pride doesn't matter. There were mosquito bites. Because the sense of pride you get when you come out on the other side victoriously is so much better. So much better. Oh yeah, ramen noodles are good. Yes, especially the Nissan cups. The hot chili flavor. Ooh, I could live on them again. I could. I understand that. Trust me, I understand that. But before they resort to the worst of things, they should exhaust all options. I'm just saying, you know, churches, there's a program here where I live called Families First, and they provide resources. Heck, you can dial 211 on your phone, and it's a hotline that gives you resources. And they'll sit on the phone with you. They have mental health crisis, and they've got like, you know, all the information for all of the different food banks and county resources. I mean, there's things you can do. Stealing should be the last resort. Harming someone should be the last resort. In any circumstance. You know, when people go out and rob and mug people or, you know, loot stores, I don't understand it. Because you're not trying to help yourself at that point. Nothing good can come from that. And you risk hurting someone else, or what's even worse, you run the risk of the person that you're trying to steal from has a weapon and is not afraid to fight. That's a terrible outcome for both parties. That person really doesn't want to hurt anybody, but they certainly aren't going to be a victim. I completely disagree. Because then where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? You let everybody who steals something petty, you let them all go, right? Well, you've just created a situation where everybody then thinks that that's okay. And then that line, that moral line, like you just moved it right here, you know? You've moved it. So when everybody then thinks, oh yeah, petty theft is now fine, we don't prosecute that. Everybody who steals can go. Okay, well then what about, you know, all the car break-ins? And then you're like, well, you know, everybody who steals doesn't get prosecuted, and you know, that's just a car break-in. It's just a car break-in. Let's move that line here. you're constantly moving that line. And you're justifying worse and worse and worse actions when you do that. And what's going to happen then when everything's decriminalized? You're at some point, you've got to just say, no. Breaking the law is breaking the law. I don't care if it's a 50-cent candy bar or $112 worth of Reese's. You do it, you're charged. You make amends, you learn from it, and you do better next time. Yeah. Yes. So when you're justifying the theft, all you're doing is helping them be an addict in that scenario. Oh, whatever. I highlight your comments all the time. But you often say, let them go. You often say that. Just as much as you say, judges need robes. Respect the court. Yeah. Respect the court. It falls into the same line. I love these conversations with you, Patrick. Don't think I'm picking on you. I'm not picking on you. I love these conversations. And Patrick, you're a wonderful person and you're a wonderful member of this family. And I'm not meaning specifically you. Your comments open up a broader conversation. So I'm not picking on you, buds. You know I love you. I hope you know that. But on that note, it's almost 1 a.m. I have to stay on for 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Ava, do you want 2 minutes and 30 seconds worth of bacon at least? You want bacon at least? Yeah. I got to do bacon because your other treats are not going to come until Wednesday. And it's too late at night to give you a marrow bone, or you'll be waking me up in a couple of hours. Oh, girly girl. I love you. Oh, you got bad breath. Oh. Oh, no, you farted. That's not your breath. Oh. Oh. Hi, Earl. Oh, Mama's opening the window. Oh. What did you eat? What did you eat? Hi, Stinky. Hi, Stinky. When we had to go today to my mom's remembrance lunch for the family, Kendra was like, "You're not bringing Ava, are you?" I'm like, "Well, I was kind of thinking about it because I don't know how late, I don't want to leave her at home all day." She's like, "She stinks, Mom. I can't be in a car with her for a couple of hours." So we left Ava at home. I made sure she had food, water, and potty before we left. She didn't even have to steal the cat food, did ya? She's so darn cute. One more and that's it, okay? But you got to earn this one. Can you speak? Oh, come on. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. Speak. Speak. Speak like it's the last treat in the bag. Speak. That's a kiss. Oh. Thief. Thief. Treat thief. I told you you would have earned that one and you stole it. After we just had that big talk. Did you not hear me lecturing the world? Judge Mom gonna get you. Judge Mom gonna get you. Yep. You have restitution and kisses and cuddles. Oh, she's such a good girl, y'all. She is so funny. She keeps me laughing and gagging. Yep. Ava fan club. Ava fan club. Catherine Gaston and Philip Heels. Prime members of the Ava fan club. Yeah. Billy and her with matching harnesses. Ugh. My dog slobber on my face. Oh, man. I can't. Oh, yeah. I thought it was her breath at first. And like, oh, her breath's terrible. It was not her breath. Hi, Earl. You going to say hi? No, you just want to be a window kitty tonight? Okay, you can be a window kitty. Her birthday is November 15th, and I believe it's 2018. When we got her, they said she was a year and a half, which would put it at 2018, I think. But I'm not sure. But they did know that she was born November 15th. That's the one thing that we knew. So that's her birthday every year. And we have a little doggy cake of some sort. Last year it was a Dunkin' Donuts has these doggy donuts. So she got doggy donuts from Dunkin' Donuts for her birthday. Yeah, pretty much. I can't really fault her for it. You know, we've all been there, but oof. Kind of. Sort of. So there was somewhat older gentleman who had her. He was very sweet. He had wanted to rescue animals. So he got a bunch of kennels all around his house and yard. And he was keeping the dogs in the kennels, you know, some 2 or 3 at a time. The kennels were too small for the dogs. He thought that he was giving all the dogs a better life because, you know, they'd have been on streets without him and whatnot. At some point, he realized that it was just too much. So he did do the right thing and he was giving all the dogs away. I don't know if that was prompted by charges or not. I don't believe he was charged ever with anything. But what I did find out was one of the big factors of him wanting to get rid of the dogs was he had an ungrateful, I believe it was son, that was in his late 20s living with him. And that person was smacking the dogs. Ava will love anyone unless you're a very tall, skinny male or if you smell like beer. Those 2 factors will send her into sounds of howls that they sound like she's physically being hurt. Someone came over here and they had been drinking beer, and it's someone that she knew and that she typically loves, but they came over smelling like beer and she went nuts. She was scream crying. And, it was just awful. And then there was one time someone had come over with their wife, and Ava knew the wife very well, had never met the husband. But the husband was over. They were doing me a favor because I think I was in the hospital or something, but they were stopping over. They were doing me a favor. But the husband came in the house. He was a tall, skinny male, and Ava actually bit him. Only person she's ever bit. But she went nuts, growling and snarling and everything when she saw him. And my friend was like, Ava, this is okay. And she was trying to pet her and calm her down. And, he took one step and she just went nuts. So I think that speaks a lot for that she went through something. Those actions in themselves tell her story, I think, because she never acts like that ever with anyone except for those two circumstances. So, and they say dogs are the best judge of characters. Maybe that was it, but I don't know. He was an all right guy. So I don't know, maybe Ava knew something I didn't know. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I really needed that. It was a very trying, emotional day. But you guys made it so much better. You always do. You make me smile and laugh. You cheer me up. All of the support. Thank you. All I do is come out and hang out with my friends. You guys are the real rock stars. Be safe, be well, sleep sweet, and much love.